discuss about Rutherford's model of atom. He conducted an alpha particle scattering experiment. Today we will discuss the experiment and the results and also about his conclusions about the model of an atom. Let's discuss now in detail. The experiment is known as alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, alpha particle scattering experiment. Alpha particle scattering experiment. So what we use here, an alpha particle source. This is a high energy radiation of alpha particle source. From this source alpha particles will be produced and these alpha particles will go through the lead plate and will strike a gold plate. A thin gold foil is used here. Thin gold foil is used for the experiment. Thin gold foil. Okay, thin gold foil is used. These alpha particles will strike the gold plate or the gold foil and will deflect or will either pass or will deflect from the gold foil, and here we keep a photographic plate. A photographic plate of zinc sulfide is kept here. Alpha particles is produced from the source and it will pass to the lead plate and will go and strike the gold plate. This is the gold foil that we use in the experiment. And from the gold foil what happens? It can either pass to the alpha particles can either pass to the gold foil or will get deflected. And here we use a zinc sulfide plate, a zinc sulfide screen. And in this photographic zinc sulfide screen, the alpha particles will strike. When the alpha particle strikes the plate, what happens is that it will produce a flash of light. This zinc sulfide screen will produce a flash of light when the particles strike the sulfide screen. Look here, this cross mark. This is how it will produce a flash of light. The alpha particles strike this photographic zinc sulfide screen. A flash of light will be produced. This is the alpha particle experiment. Alpha particles will pass to the source, strike the gold plate, and it can either deflect or it will either pass to the gold foil. And let us now look about what are the conclusions that Rutherford got from this experiment, from this alpha particle scattering experiment. What are the conclusions of alpha particle scattering experiment? Look here students, this is the molecular view of the gold foil. That is, we used a gold foil, isn't it? For studying what happens to the alpha particles, we used a gold foil. That gold foil consists of what? Gold atoms, isn't it? It consists of gold atoms. This is the molecular view of that gold foil. That means these are the atoms, gold atoms. This is the atom and this is the nucleus. This is the molecular view of that gold foil. Now let's look what happens to the alpha particles. This blue line is the beam of alpha particle. Okay, it is the beam of alpha particles. The result of the experiment is that most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected. Most of them, you can see, most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected, without deflection. Okay. And the second observation is that some of the alpha particles, a very few of the alpha particles deflected by small angles. A very few of the alpha particles you can see here, they deflected at small angles. Okay. Few alpha particles deflected at small angles. And the third observation is that 1 in 20,000 atoms, 1 in 20,000 atoms, okay, approximately 1 in 20,000 atoms bounce back, okay, bounce back by 180 degree. 1 in 20,000 atoms, what it happens, it bounces back in the direction of the alpha particles by 180 degree. These are the observations that Rutherford got during his experiment. What most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected is the first observation. Most of them pass through the gold foil without getting any deflection. The second observation is that a very few alpha particles get deflected by small angles. And the third observation is that 1 in 20,000 atoms or 1 in 20,000 atoms, what it did, it bounced back the alpha particle B. It bounced back the alpha particle B. These are the three main observations that we got from the alpha particle scattering experiment. Look here. These are the observations made by Rutherford in his alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, the first observation is that most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected. The next observation is that a very few particles, that is 1 in 20,000 particles, deflected at 180 degree. Okay, or bounced back at 180 degree. After passing, it again bounced back at 180 degree. This is the second observation. A very few particles bounce back at 180 degree. And the third observation is that a small fraction of the particles, they deflected at very small angles. Okay, a small fraction of the particles, they got deflected at very small angles. These were the three important observations that Rutherford got from his alpha particle experiment. And next we will study the conclusions of alpha particle scattering experiment. What is his proposed model of Rutherford? From these three observations, Rutherford came to some of the conclusions about the structure of an atom. Let us look what are his conclusions. The first conclusion is that most of the space in the atom is empty. Why? Because he saw that most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil undeflected, isn't it? Most of the alpha particles pass through it without getting any deflected. So he told that most of the space in the atom is empty. If there is any charge only, it will deflect, isn't it? So most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil. As a reason, he told that most of the space in the atom is empty. The next conclusion is that the positive charge has to be concentrated in a very small volume. Why? Because what was the second observation? Most of the alpha particles, or very few alpha particles, pass through the gold foil and get deflected by small angles, isn't it? Few particles passed and got deflected by small angles. We studied, isn't it? So from that observation, he concluded that only the positive charge has been concentrated in a very small volume. Okay, if this is an atom, the positive charge is concentrated only in a very small volume compared to that of the atom, because only some of the alpha particles got deflected. Why it got deflected? Because it passed through the nucleus, so it got deflected, isn't it? So the space of or the volume of the nucleus inside the atom, or the volume of the positive charge inside the atom, is very small, as only few particles got deflected at small angles. This is the second conclusion of Rutherford. Look at the third conclusion. The volume occupied by the nucleus is negligibly small as compared to the volume of the atom. This is what I told. Compared to the volume of the atom, the space occupied by the nucleus is negligibly small. Okay. If the volume of or the radius of an atom is 10 power minus 10, only the nucleus will have 10 power minus 15 meter radius. Okay. This is the conclusion. Volume occupied by the nucleus is negligibly small as compared to the volume of the atom. What are his conclusions? Most of the space inside the atom is empty, as the particles pass through the gold foil without getting deflected. The second point is that a very few particles passed by deflecting small angles, isn't it? As a conclusion, he told that the positive charge is concentrated only in a small space. And the third thing is that the volume of the nucleus is small as compared to the total volume of the atom. These are the three important conclusions that he got from his alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay. From these observations and conclusions, Rutherford proposed the nuclear model of atom. Let us look at what are the points inside the nuclear model that is proposed by Rutherford. The first point is that the positive charge and most of the mass of the atom is concentrated in a small region. Most of the mass and the positive charge is concentrated inside a small region inside the atom. And he called that small space as what? Nucleus. Most of the positive charge and what mass of the atom is concentrated in that small region, and that he called as the nucleus. The next point is that the nucleus is surrounded by electrons that move around the nucleus in high speed, that is in circular orbits or in circular paths that are known as orbits. He told that the nucleus is surrounded by what? Electrons, and that they move in what? High speed. Electrons move in high speed around the nucleus in a circular path, and that path he defined as what? Orbits. He gave the name nucleus, and also the circular paths where the electrons revolve is called as what? Orbits. And the third most important point is that the electrons and the nucleus are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. The nucleus and the electrons are held together, that is the nucleus where the electrons revolve around the nucleus, isn't it? In circular paths called orbits, that is what proposed by Rutherford, and they are held together by what? Electrostatic force of attraction. These are the most important postulates or the points in Rutherford's nuclear model of atom. Now let's discuss about the drawbacks or the limitations of Rutherford's model of atom. He failed to explain the stability of an atom. That is the main drawback. He couldn't explain why atoms are stable. Okay. According to his postulate, he told that what? Electrons revolve around the nucleus in circular orbits. Okay. That means what? The particles in a circular orbit will undergo acceleration. This we already know. Particle in a circular orbit would undergo acceleration, and that would radiate energy. Okay. When a particle moves under acceleration, it will radiate energy, and the revolving electrons will finally, what happens in a long run, it will lose energy and it will fall in the nucleus. This is the phenomenon that will happen if the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbits. What happens? The particles will undergo acceleration and would radiate energy. Finally, the energy will be lost and it will fall in the nucleus. The electrons will lose their energy and it will fall in the nucleus. So as a result, we can say that he failed to explain why the atom is stable. According to his postulate, electrons would lose energy and it will finally fall in the nucleus. This is one of the main drawbacks of the nuclear model that is proposed by Rutherford. Before concluding today's session, let us discuss about a small topic about atomic number and mass number. What is an atomic number said? You already know that an atom consists of what? A nucleus, and also electrons are revolving, isn't it, around it. And in the nucleus, what? There are protons and neutrons. Okay. Inside the nucleus there are protons and neutrons, and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in an atom. Inside the nucleus there is protons and also neutrons. What is an atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus or the number of electrons in the neutral atom. Neutrons does not have charge, that we have already studied. So inside the nucleus there are protons that is having a positive charge, and the electrons are revolving around it. Electrons consist of negative charge, that we already studied. So the number of protons in the nucleus will be equal to what? The number of electrons revolving around it. Then only what? Electrical neutrality will be attained, isn't it? So atomic number can be defined as the number of protons in the nucleus or the number of electrons in a neutral atom. Next, about mass number. As I have told you, the positive charge is due to of the nucleus is due to the presence of what? Protons. Similarly, the mass of a nucleus is due to the what? Neutrons. Due to the presence of neutrons, mass, the positive charge, and also the mass of the nucleus is due to the presence of neutrons. So mass number can be defined as what? Number of protons plus number of neutrons. Mass number is denoted by A. Okay. Now atomic number is denoted by Z. What is atomic number? It is the number of protons or the number of electrons in a neutral atom. What is mass number? It is the number of neutrons plus number of protons inside the nucleus. Or we can together call protons and neutrons as what? Nucleons. Protons and neutrons are together called as nucleons. That is, number of nucleons will give the mass number. These are the definitions of what is meant by an atomic number. That is the sum total of what? Or the total number of protons. Or the total number of what? Electrons is what? The atomic number. And the mass number is what? The total number of nucleons. What is nucleons? The sum total of neutrons plus protons. Okay. Okay students, today we studied about Rutherford's model of atom and also about his conclusions and the proposed model by Rutherford and the drawbacks of that model. And also two small topics about what is atomic number and what is mass number. Hope you understood what I taught you today. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.